Hi everybody, Rattlesnake27 back here for another breakdown analysis of a zombie trailer. If you're not familiar with these, there's going to be a lot of starting and stopping and talking. If you want to watch the full trailer in its entirety, I'll link it down in the description below. But the whole purpose about this is to discuss and dissect and add to the awesome conversation of this new trailer. First things first, not Klaus. That isn't him. We don't have to worry about that. I know he's coming back somehow since it's already been hinted on Twitter by Cameron Dayton about Klaus returning to the game in some shape, way, or form because he's not dead yet, technically. Now, I am going to be critical of certain things on here. That doesn't mean I don't like this game at all. I'm one of the only people that are still posting, playing, and enjoying World War II Zombies, and has been a big proponent of how much I've enjoyed it. The replayability has lacked in this game so far, but that doesn't mean I don't like it or haven't had a wonderful time playing it. I made a video a little while back talking how I was worried about the fog, and people took that as like, oh, another YouTuber just bashing on the game, just like, I'm one of the only guys that likes this thing. I want to treat it just like I would treat a Treyarch release and give them enough credit like they deserve for making and putting the passion into these games. So, let's get into the breakdown.
Just like in Bavaria. You have arrived late to the party.
Now that phrasing worries me, but that doesn't mean it's a problem this time around. It fits fine for the map. He escaped somehow the last time. We had the shooting him Easter egg, but we have a whole idea that we knew Dr. Shroud was gonna go to the next island, go to the next place and hide and all that stuff. Fine. But we can't keep arriving late to the party map after map after map. If we do that for 3 more DLCs, I think that's very poor writing, and then we're gonna be in this hole again of just being bored to tears. Another facility. We just got here late, just to missed them again. It's just like going and getting all the soul keys. It's just like going and getting all the souls for our characters in Black Ops 3. Those things are boring and predictable, and we want a little more excitement in Type Zombies, or at least I do. You know what? I'm not gonna pretend to speak for you. I like more excitement in my zombies. If you like that kind of serial reality TV show type of deal, totally fine. But personally, I like it when there's lots of twists and turns and interesting thought put into these characters, foreshadowing and character development. Those things really get me going, and we've had a lot of that in the past in Call of Duty Treyarch Zombies, but even Treyarch has failed to deliver on payoffs, which I think there's so much they can pay off in this game, and you don't have to wait till the last DLC to pay something off, but that doesn't seem to be common practice.
I've been storing my children here in the wet woods of these islands for years.
So I'm gonna give them the benefit of the doubt on this one, because in the Final Reich, they established Stroud was just figuring out how to control the zombies and experiment on the zombies. Now initially I thought, wait, weren't these labeled? Wasn't this the time frame on these? They didn't put any timestamps on them unless it's actually in the full text that I'm not gonna go through all the 26 radios right now, but I appreciate that they didn't write themselves into a hole. So it's possible all this stuff was recorded prior to us getting to the Final Reich. Like we know obviously it had to be recorded prior, but years prior.
Over here.
Oh,
shit. Bloody stickers!
As we all can agree, that last sequence was wonderful. It was incredible cinematics, but that's what worries me. Even though it is spliced with gameplay, it works well in a trailer for the horror aspect that they're going for. They keep saying it's the scariest zombies yet and all this type of stuff. I hope they prove me wrong, but fundamentally, if you don't change the gameplay mechanics, I don't think this can ever be scary. The way Zombies is, it's a resource game where you start at round 0, you try and last as long as possible, around 1 rather, and you gather resources and weapons until you make yourself super overpowered, and you go on and on and on. You can train, you can still do all these things. No matter what you do, it's still the same game that doesn't allow for those scary situations like a Resident Evil 7. They might be able to give you a gun, but ammo becomes a massive problem. And you can't limit ammo in this game because then it's not fun because you throw so many zombies at us. The whole dynamic would have to change in the game development. But they do innovate here where we're getting on a gun, even though, yes, we did that in Zetsubou no Shima, and we're shooting down planes. Yes, we did that in Zetsubou no Shima, but maybe that plane will crash into something part of an Easter egg. It's an interesting dynamic that we're going to be fighting enemies in planes right now, too, that are going to be strafing us. I'm not sure why they would be attacking us. Maybe these are the Germans attacking Straub for dissenting. Maybe he's trying to go away and do his own research. He's using German bases and they're fighting him now. Or maybe the Allies are hitting us. But then I wouldn't understand why we're trying to shoot them down. I just Googled around a bit and I still couldn't find any World War planes with the slang that Drosten used there. But also look at the guns on these planes that are mounted. These might be fictional planes that are like our fictional blimp that have been pimped out because of all the technology they've learned from all their research. And I have to commend them again. They nail the atmosphere. They know how to do it with these bases, but is it going to be too much grays and darks and fogs? Are we really going to have an enjoyable gameplay perspective? Because if they can nail this fog and the zombies and all that type of stuff for an enjoyable experience, this map's going to be great.
This island is a place rich with the history of dead gods.
Now I love this history of dead gods. So we're not just running around getting Barbarossa's sword. I'm hoping we don't just get another ancient artifact part here. I'm hoping this is like some ritual for the hilt we got in the last mission. So we're actually giving and taking and things are building upon one another instead of just going and doing fetch quests for an entire year of maps. Johnny J25 actually pointed out to me that there is a connection with Atlantis on this site. So maybe they're going to come back to those type of gods. I mean, the skull that is in the hand of the statue right now is typically associated with Satan or Satanism, which could be really, really fun to play with in a horror type of map. This type of stuff gets me really stoked. I get really excited about it because it's different, it's new assets, it's not recycled stuff that you can see the replayability issue coming up again where you're like, well, that looks a lot like the last map and a lot of the same mechanics, but then you see stuff like this like, oh, is there more areas? Is there new gameplay mechanics introduced? Is there more lore? I think one of the biggest problems I found recently is there's nothing to talk about in IW zombies or World War II zombies. There's nothing interesting to keep going with. It gets to a point. I made over like a month's worth of videos and then that was it. I think we got to about 25 videos about World War II and there's nothing left to talk about. Well, Treyarch has been able to craft something over basically a decade now, when their game comes out later this year, that allows us to get excited about something that's not even out with this Revelations ending. It blows me away. We're all excited about Treyarch again. We're pumped to hear all the lore and theories and ideas. There's clearly a fundamental issue with the way these games are being built that's not generating that same type of conversation. I don't pretend to know what it is. I just know what I like and what I don't like, and you guys are free to disagree with me on this stuff. None of this is definitive. This is some guy's opinion on the internet. But don't you feel like something's off about why I can't keep talking about cool stuff like this in World War II zombies? I feel like they only touch upon it, but they don't go all in certain sectors. They just get a little bit of backstory, they explain these type of things, and then they focus on the Easter egg quest and like, oh boy, they're like doing the check marks, but they're not doing that innovation, going that extra mile, trying to figure out what's gonna get people going down rabbit holes or curiosities, or creating these rich worlds where there's really more depth to them. Maybe that's the issue. There's not enough depth to this world. And I'll give you, there are so many radios and other backstory type of stuff, but is it just surface level storytelling there? I don't know.
Is theirs now.
So this is stuff that worries me, even from game design type stuff. This is familiar. This looks like the same upgrade station with the Tesla coil area, where we're gonna be clicking buttons and it's gonna be starting things up and down, whether it be power, where we'll be upgrading our weapons or whatever in this map. That worries me if that's the same stuff. Doesn't mean that's what's gonna happen. This could just be some sacrifice ritual place for the god statue down below. That's great, all right, good. But you don't want, it looks so familiar that all the maps start to blend together, and that can always be an issue.
Their tomb.
I was really excited for a moment here where I saw a giant sub here, and I was hoping maybe somehow we could get inside the sub and go underwater for a little bit of the Easter egg or something like that. Maybe something as little as Descent. They've already played with that in the background, even though I know it's not made by the same people. I think Raven made zombies, or they outsourced the work to a different group or whatever, and Sledgehammer's finally taking control. I get that. But it's just a trap, as you'll see in one of the next freeze frames here. But God, I hope they still do something with the sub where we get in the sub and dive down underneath water or something like that. I love the idea of accessing new areas inside games. That's what's been so exciting about even the recent Treyarch Easter eggs. You get to go to these areas that aren't typically inside the map. But then I can do a whole nother discussion, like Revelations, for instance. There was so little unique content. When they had a map that was this beautiful mashup of all the past maps, you still had to have a lot more new areas and new generated content. Inside the Apothecon Belly and the arena, we hardly get to use that much. Inside the house, we didn't get to really have much besides the starting room, and that, I think, hurts the type of world because we're so familiar with everything and it doesn't feel new or exciting. Here we have a Tesla upgrade station that we saw in the past. Does that mean the Tesla gun's gonna be back? I don't know. I hope not, to be honest with you. I hope we keep moving with new stuff map to map so it makes it unique. I love the fact that what they do in other zombie maps, when you play certain maps, there's unique weapons to each map. That makes it like, oh, I want to go back to this map so I can use this weapon selection and enjoy these game mechanics. I hope that's more just like setting, and so you go, oh, that's how they made those in the Final Reich. That's more fleshing out your world in a really positive way. Now this is what they're trying to do. They're trying to create these awesome horror scenarios where your characters are being ambushed or snuck up on by these very scary zombies. But if it's just gonna be nothing but jump scares, or just when you're playing and all of a sudden just, oh, I got you, and there's nothing you can do about it, that's not really that fun. That's not engaging for the type of zombie mode that we're playing. Again, Resident Evil 7, as you can see, what a big difference it has in game mechanics. And the reason I use that is that's a modern horror game that was exceptionally well done and well received. And there's our look at our new smart zombie that learns, apparently. He's got multiple arms. I'm not sure why every zombie needs headgear, like their braces aren't working or something like that, but it seems to be reoccurring. I think the guy's just as scary without the dumb metal stuff on their heads all the time. I guess they're vices and trying to get things in the right places, but what's so scary about the zombie? He has a long tongue right now and 4 arms. He looks like another blob of meat to me, so I'm hoping it's really intricate how he reacts and fights with our characters inside this map and how he learns, and I hope it's a positive, and it's not something that's just going to be like an EMZ zombie, where I have an issue with game mechanics that are inevitabilities. All they do is just lengthen the duration. They're not making the game any better, and they're not changing the result. You're gonna live, but they're gonna make it as long and arduous as a process, but that's not fun. That's not why we're playing the game, just so we can have these awful processes that drag us down. One of the examples in the Final Reich, bringing the battery all the way downstairs, right? That can be such a pain in the butt. We're always gonna get it. We're not gonna die on that step. We never do. But we gotta put it down, run a circle, pick it up, go 10 more paces, put it down, run a circle. If there was some, you know, risk and reward that you could do that, or there's a faster method you could do that would end up, you know, maybe you would get hit or something like that. Those are the mechanics you gotta try and put in game, not these things that are completely inevitable. Oh, we're gonna throw an EMZ zombie at you and knock off your exosuit. Well, I'm just gonna keep running and running until it comes back on, and then you're gonna hit me off again. And it's that type of fatigue you get, and it's not exclusive to just this game mode in zombies. Every zombies creator does this. I think that adds nothing to the game. It's inevitable, so let's just play the game.
You have no idea what you are up against.
And this is the opening cinematic by far. There's no way this is in-game. We all can hopefully understand and establish that. This is, again, I think it would make a great movie. It would make a great short film, animation. I don't think it's a horror game for video games. It works so darn well in these cinematics. How freaking cool is that, seeing all these zombies coming out of the water? Everything's covered in blood. Even if you saw the canyons earlier, the setting is nailed. The story is fine. A lot of explanations, which I love. Everything has an explanation, but now it's getting to the point of like, there's nothing to talk about. I don't care further. And anything that the big revelations are gonna come in the final DLC when we put the sword together or get the artifacts and we kill, like, I hope Straub gets killed off in this map and there's a bigger evil afoot right now. Or there's another, like, Straub gets a leg up on us and gets this stuff. We bring him the hilt, basically. He gets the hilt and he's now releasing it into the world. That causes us to go into a Paris or an England type of area. Now we're rampant with zombies. And then we gotta fight back. And then when we defeat Straub in the next map, and then a bigger bad guy comes along, that was really the darkness described in the Final Reich by Klaus. And the Emperor must not return. All that type of stuff is fun things to go on, but there's nothing in there. We barely got like 4 murals in the final Reich. We need more of that, those little details that keep us talking, keep us interested. I can't believe I'm saying, like, where are the ciphers? Like, the ciphers in BO3, I wasn't a big fan of that storytelling, but at least it added more to the story. We do have radios that help us, and that's great. And there was 26 of them. That's fantastic. I hope we still see that type of commitment. I heard mods are going to be back as well, so we're going to have new mods available when this comes out. I'm hoping the ranking system continues to grow and get better. There's a lot of potential for this game. It's really darn good, and I like it. But there were glaring issues I think we still need to be aware of and be like, hey, you know, I see what you're doing, Sledgehammer, and I think you should fix a couple things or try and twist it in a way that, you know, is more fun. The whole goal is to make a more fun and interesting game. And that's all I'm trying to say here. I really enjoy World War II Zombies. I still play World War II Zombies. And I'd love to know your thoughts about this trailer in the comments down below. I see a lot of hope, but I've been at this so long that this doesn't shock me. This doesn't warrant a reaction video going, whoa, can you believe there's guns? And I'm not trying to make fun of it, but I'm just trying to be real with you guys. Like, this isn't groundbreaking stuff at all.
C-3PO and R2-D2 showed up, and I clapped!
I clapped when I saw them too!
I clapped because I know Star Wars!
I know what that is! Lucasfilm logo. A long time ago in a galaxy far, far away, but no title crawl. Oh well!
I applauded it for being different!
It broke new ground!
It's interesting, it's cool, but where's that next step in storytelling or gameplay mechanics that we're looking for? A lot of this stuff's been done, not on the newest generation of consoles, very fair, and not in this way or atmosphere or setting. So I'm hopeful. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you did enjoy. Make sure to subscribe for all your zombie videos. I got another one tomorrow talking about how Dr. Monty's true plan is really about killing all of our characters. So make sure to check that out, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Wednesday. Subscribe for all your Call of Duty zombie information and news and gaming content in general. I'm Rouse27. I hope you did enjoy this video, and I will see you in the next one. Bye now.